Hello, welcome to Ekidel. We are a trained future civil and structural engineer. My name is Justice Umaka. I am your instructor. Today, I will be showing you steel maintenance workshop design. As you can see, this is the name here, the project name, and I'm using Protastructure 2022 for the design of this steel maintenance workshop building. Now, if I go now and turn off this my cladding, you will see the steel members and the steel connections, although not yet the bolt connections, because we are going to use Prota steel for the bolts and welding connections. So this is now the full modeling for the steel warehouse. Basically, this video is to show you how to create your cladding when you have different levels, because maybe you know before how to create normal cladding, but when you're designing for something like workshop building and steel workshop building, warehouse building, and some other type of complex building in steel, you'll begin to notice that you might have a sloping member. And in that kind of sloping member, if you're meant to add up a cladding, something like this here, as you can see, if I turn on my cladding now, you will see that these claddings on this area, they have sloping members, as you can see that. So I'll be showing you how to create your like a sloping cladding. If maybe you want to put a cladding at an angle, I'll show you how to do that. If you also look at this back here, you can see that most of the cladding here are all at an angle. So that is why I said this video basically is to show you how to create an angular cladding. If maybe you want to slope the cladding in one particular angle, I'll be showing you that just now. Okay, so right now, let me just assume that we do not have cladding on everything here. So I'll just take off all this cladding now and then begin to walk you through on how to create this cladding based on the angles. Okay, so let's begin with that just now. Okay, so I'll just remove all this my cladding here on my ground floor. So I click now and then say delete. And automatically it will delete all the cladding on the ground floor. And then again, I'll still go and then add up the cladding on the first floor. I'll just say, okay, yes, delete that. And then I'll also go again to my second floor here, which is to remove the cladding at this level, because I have just removed all the cladding at the lower level, which is the story 1. So at this story 2 now, I also need to remove all the cladding here. So to remove the cladding here, I'll just go here right now and I'll make story 2 active, and then come to cladding, under cladding of story 2. This is to be here, yes. Then click on the first one, hold my shift key, and then click on the last one, and it will just auto select everything of about the cladding. And then I'll just go ahead right now, right click, and then say delete. Okay, that's fine. And then say okay. Then on this other side now, I will click on this now again, and then begin to remove this one manually here by removing this and remove this also. Okay, that's fine. And then just say delete. Okay. So basically now you can now see that we have all our steel members being modeled, but right now we now begin to input the cladding. So that is what I want to teach you today, how to input your cladding. Okay, so first thing, to input our cladding or to create our claddings in Protastructure 2022, you have to go to modeling here. And on this modeling here, the first thing you do is to have to locate this place here that says steel members, and then on these steel members here, there will be a drop down members, and then just locate cladding. Now we have done a course video on this steel on the full design of this steel model, where we use the CAD file and all that. Okay, so and if you want that, I'll be dropping the link below this video description, not now but later. Okay, so right now I'll just go right now. Let me now create a cladding on this first area here, because from our model, it is said that all these pole lines, which is the side pole lines, they all have cladding with it. So right now I'll just click on my cladding here as I did before again, and then come here and click on my pole line, just as you know how to create cladding before. Okay, and then once it comes up, I'll just go and say click on OK, because this one is just a straight cladding that doesn't have an angle yet. So I'll also come here again and then come to this place and create again here, click here. Since my cladding is still active, so I can begin to create all my cladding that looks similar. So okay, as you can see, this our cladding here is still active. So I'll just begin to click all my cladding that looks similar before I will now enter into the angular cladding area. Okay, so I'll go again right now and then click here and then just say okay. Now I'll just create typically all the ones that does not require angle or that does not require level to create your cladding. Okay, so I'll just do this right now and then do this again and then continue again here, do this here, continue, and then come here again, do this here and do this one here. Okay, and then we have created the cladding for that. And if you check the inner side of this workshop maintenance workshop building, you can see that there is an entrance door that you can move from this workshop here to this section here using through this door, as you can see it here. Yeah, okay, let's just go back to what we are doing before by creating our claddings. Okay, and then click here and then just say okay and then continue by just doing that right now. So I'll just repeat just as I'm doing right now until I get to the very stage of our angular cladding. Okay, so I'll do the same thing here and then say okay here, and do the same thing here and say okay here, and do the same thing on this side again. Okay, this other back side I cannot create a cladding now because it has an angle, which I'll teach you just now. So let me just go again and do the same thing for this other side too, and then click here and then say okay, and I'll click here again and then say okay. Now you can see that basically I am done creating all my cladding that does not require angle. So these other ones now on this other front side requires angle. So to do that now, I'll have to, okay, let me just create this one again. Create the cladding for this roof before I begin to create this this cladding that has different levels. I'll have to just create the cladding for this roof now and then click here and then say okay, and then click here and then click again and then say okay. So you have to click on the pole lines and then click again here and then say okay, okay, and then click here again and then say okay. That's fine. You can see that we have now created all the cladding that does not require different level or angle. So these other ones now that are left at this back area and at this front area now, these two requires level for you to perfectly create the cladding that can fit this very shape or this very slope. Okay, so right now let's now begin to create the angle that let's now begin to create the cladding that can fit in with this very slope here. Okay, so to create a cladding that have different elevation level in 2022 Protastructure, you have to, first of all, you have to click on cladding. Once you click on cladding and then click on the side pole lines. So if I click on this side pole line here now, let me say I want to create, first of all, I want to create a cladding that can fit in with this very shape here. So if I click to create my cladding now, the first thing, if you don't apply the sloping elevation on your cladding or for a steel model that has a slope or different level, this is what you're going to get. You will see that basically you can see that it doesn't fit in to the very shape that we have on display, because basically this cladding was meant to have the same slope to like flush together with this beam that is falling at this angle. But if you look at what our cladding is now, you can see that our cladding is not right because it is not following the same shape. So basically this is the reason for this video, is to show you how to work with elevation when you're creating your cladding in Protastructure software. Okay, and if you look at also at this end here, you can see that this end, basically this cladding was meant to stop directly at this side pole line level, but you can see that it is now extending below and now causing an obstruction to the people that are going to enter into this workshop warehouse. So right now, to begin to work on that and to now begin to correct those things, you have to now begin to do it this way. So once you click on your side on your cladding, okay, and then you click on this place here. Once you click on the line of that particular one that has that that shape, first thing you have to do is to begin to impute your different elevation level here. Now, based on this structure here, I have already with my height given, you can see that I have different heights here. I have already calculated those my elevations, and from those my elevations now, these are the values that I'm going to put to fit in that very shape. So if I go here right now and then put in on this place here, which is the P1, I'll put in 1115, which will take care of that, excessive cladding that was going through that entrance area. You can see that I have now shortened this place here, and I'll do again 1115, and then on this place here, I'll have to come here, which is this P3. On this P3 here, I'll have to type in a value that says 0, and on this P4, because this P4 now is where I want it to slope, I will now have to type in the value -656, and I'll just come here and press enter. Okay, now you can see that I have now gotten a perfect slope that flushes directly with what I want. As you can see that this is now a perfect slope that flushes directly what I want. I can see that right now. If I view from this point, you can see that they are being sloped based on the side, based on the beam sloping. As you can see that. And also on this entrance side, you can see that that this cladding now stops directly at that. This cladding now stops directly at this side pole line, just giving a little allowance of at least 50. You can see that. Now you can see that if you didn't put this, you don't have to put that elevation, this is what you're going to get. You will get something like this. Let me just put it on this other side now. You will get something like this. You can see how that this one here that doesn't have different level is not the same with what we have here. This one that doesn't have level is not being shaped based on this particular place. Now you can say, can't I trim it? There is no trimming of cladding on Protastructure pins 2. You cannot trim cladding. The only thing you have to do is to work on the elevations. Okay, so you can see that this other one here is perfectly placed because we used angle, and can see that it is being it is also flushing with this. So I'll just remove this right now and then use the other angle. Now whenever you are working with angle, know that there is what they call anti-clockwise and also clockwise. So this one that we did now is called a clockwise cladding, and this other one here that I'm going to put on this side now will be the anti-clockwise, which is just the reverse. Okay, so right now I'll go again right now and then click on what cladding here, and then click on what here, and then click on this place here that says click on the cladding here, sorry, on this pole line here, and now I'll have to put in my value here, the same thing, 1115, sorry, 15 again, 15, and then here 1115. Now on this other side now, don't forget that we put that -656 on this P4. Now we are going to put it now on this P1, on this P3, sorry, -656, and I'll come here right now and then click on what, okay. So you can see that it will just slope in now as it is. Okay, as you can see that. So right now we have now successfully created this other one here. Now let us now create for this other smaller one here also, because what we did was for these two here. Now let's now also create a cladding for this other side here, which is also having that kind of sloping issue. So we will also click on that on the cladding first. It is still active, and then click on this other one here. Okay, now once I click that right now, if I do not want to put this elevation, you can see that it will not also fit in. So that's why you can see that it is not fitting in. It is not corresponding to what we have. As you can see that it is not having the same shape. So that's why you must work with elevation when you are working with either steel structure that have different different slope. Okay, so to be able to do that right now, I'll just have to delete that just now. I'll remove that and then put in a new one and then click on this. Now while I'm putting that right now, I'll have to work with the elevations. Now this one right now have different elevations because it is on a different area entirely. So I'll have to work with the elevations here. In this one now we have to put in P1 to be 0, P2 to be 0, and then we come here right now and then put in P3 to be 224 to be able to slope together with this level here. So this level from my own calculation for this warehouse building is 224, and then for this other side now is minus 200. So if I do this right now and then just say okay, now you can see that it will just flush directly as it is, as you can see that. So you can see that it has flushed directly. You can see how they are being flushed, as you can see that they are being flushed. And if you also check this other side too, you can also see that they are also perfectly placed, as you can see that they are flushing with this. Now how to get your level basically on a steel warehouse building is very difficult to work with level. That is why we have what they call Ekidel mentorship class. It is not free, but the reason for that class, which is a separate training where we use Teams or Google Meeting to share our screen while we are training you, is to make sure that you get conversant with this software and also how to design either steel structures or what they call concrete structures. Now we have a lot of syllables that we will train you, so that by the end of that training you will be able to know everything that is on the syllable. We have also included the link down below, so if you want to know more about the syllable, you can check the link down below and know about our training. And it is not expensive, and also it is not also that low. Okay, so let's now create again for this other option. So you can enroll for your own special training on structural design, which will train you on steel design and also concrete design. And to know what you're going to achieve by the end of that training, just check on the link down below and go through our Ekidel mentorship class, as you can see it here. And also by the end of the training, we are going to give you a certificate for that. Okay, so let me now create again for this other side here. Now click again right now and click on this place there. Now, knowing that I said that cladding, when you're working with slope, you have to work anti-clockwise and clockwise. So the other one we did before was a clockwise one. Now this other side now, I'll still make this place to be 0 and this to be 0. Now P3 now, instead of having P3 to be 224, on this case now, I'll have to make P3 to be minus 200, and then P4 will now become 224. So that's how it works. Okay, I'll now come here right now and then click on what okay here, and then you will see that it will just fit into what we have here, as you can see that. So you can now see how we have created a cladding for this upper level here is different from how we created level for this lower one. The reason is because this upper one here requires a slope to work with, and then you must work with the slope while you are putting in your own cladding, and which is different from what we were doing before here, because this other one here is just a simple way of putting cladding that does not require any kind of different level or slope. But this other side here requires you to work with that level, okay, with that level before you can fit in your cladding based on the shape of your steel structural modeling. Okay, then let's now work on again to this back here. So if maybe you didn't grab what you did there, put attention here for also to grab what you're going to do right now. Okay, so to put a cladding here on this back now, for this back side here right now, let me start. I can see that this back now is being divided into 4 partitions, as you can see that. From this column here to this column here is 1 partition, and from this to this is 2 partition, and then from this to this is 3 partition, and then from this to this is 4. So as it is being divided, so also are the pole lines divided. And since the pole lines are divided also, we have pole lines 1, we have 2, and we have 3, and we have 4. And since the pole lines are being divided too, so also we are also going to place our cladding based on how the pole lines are being divided. And don't forget that this also have a slope. As you can see, it has a slope at the back side here. So we are also going to work with the slope and make sure that our claddings are going to fit in based on the slope elevation level. Okay, so right now, let's now begin to now create our cladding based on this first side here. Now, most of you guys might most of your software might be lagging when you're working with Protastructure. But if you can see right now, mine is not lagging. This lagging principle or lagging doesn't really depend on the capacity of your system. So even if you have a low RAM system or the low speed system, you can still make your Protastructure 2022 to be very, very fast. And there is something you are going to purge into your software before you can begin your modeling. Else you will spend so much time while you are modeling, and you can see that you can be able to make your 3D view very, very fast. Okay, but that will be a different class for a different day. So right now I will now begin to create my own cladding here, and I'll start with this other one here. So to create a cladding now for this place here, I'll just quickly right now and then click on this side line here. Now on clicking that, now it will show me this cladding dialog box. And since I am working with elevation here, because I see that I want to create a cladding here, and at this top here there is a slope of this steel member here, so I want my cladding to also flush with the steel slope in here. So I'll have to put in my values there now, and the values based on this structure, I'll have to put in the value which I have already calculated. I have to put in the value and put P1 to be 0, P2 0, and P3 to now become minus 565. You can see that we can see that on our previous one I did 656, and also I did minus 200. But for this back here, I have to use minus 565 because I have already done my calculations on that, and I've noticed that based on that level, I need this value for me to be able to fit in my cladding on this other side. So I'll come here right now and make my P4 to be 0, and then I'll come here and then click on what? OK. Automatically right now it will just fit in. As you can see that right now, it has fit in right now based on what I have. You can see that it is now following the same level that this steel member is. Okay, now I told you again that cladding has what they call anti-clockwise when you're working with cladding that has slope. Okay, so this other one here right now, to put the cladding here, I have to make it a reverse. Okay, so and that reverse will just be P10, P20, P4 right now become minus 565, and this now become what? 0, and I'll come here and say what? Okay. That's fine. It will just fit in again. So so you can now see that we have now created another cladding for this back here. Okay, that's fine. And then you can also see this other one here. To now create for this other partition here, I have to work again by clicking on this other side now, by carefully clicking the cladding that is on this face for this partition here, and I'll click this now. Now once I click on it, I'll have to now come here. Come to this place now. This P1 here is 0, P2 is 0, and then this other side here that says P3 has a value of 165 based on this partition, and this other one now has a value of 355. And then I'll come here and then click on what? OK, and you can see that they will just fit in just now. You can see that they has it is now flushing with the slope as we have it here. Okay, now go again on this other side now, and then click on this place here, and then come here, and P1 becomes 0, P2 0. Now P3 now will become minus 355, and this other one now become 165. Okay, and I'll come here and then say OK, and to fit in based on the slope here. So you can now see that we have just created this our cladding based on the angle or the sloping elevation for this steel warehouse building, as you can see that. So basically, before the video, this was how this steel warehouse looks like without cladding. Now, by the end of this video, as you can see right now, we have just clothed this our steel warehouse with a cladding, as you can see it here. Okay, so right now you can now see our cladding just now we have created. Okay, so we considered a lot of things while we were doing this steel modeling. As you can see, then right now we considered a lot of things. Now you can see the very picture, which is the very picture of this steel cladding. This is actually a real life project, as you can see. So we considered every things that we are meant to consider, how to choose your sizes for steel and everything. As you can see that on this steel we use HEB you can see directly the size of this HEB, and we use HEB 300 for this steel size, for this steel column size. And for this beam we use HEB 200, as you can see that. And also most of our beams here are 200, as you can see that. We use generally HEB 200 for our beams, and then we used HEB 300 for our steel columns. Okay, and then for our cladding we use UPN 80, as you can see that, UPN 80 for our cladding, both the side cladding and the top cladding. And then for this window bracing we use angle iron, and the angle iron we use it 100 by 100 by 8, as you can see that. Okay, so you can see how we walk through. And then this other side here, which is now which is now creating an entrance, or let me say a demarcation between this other side of this workshop and this other side of workshop. You can see that we use a concrete block wall to separate that, as you can see that. Okay, so this is basically how it is on the plan, on this steel building plan. So we are working directly with the steel building architectural plan. Okay, so let's now just go back and then close back our cladding, which we have just created. Okay, so you can now see what we have done so far, how we created this steel warehouse to this very step. So on the next part of this maintenance workshop steel building design, I'll be showing you how to create our concrete pedestal. Now the very site, or the very environment, or the very site where this workshop is going to be built has what they call water logging. So because of that issue of what they call water logging, we are going to create a very big pedestal of at least 1 meter height, so that it can be able to protect this steel from rusting, because the level of water when there is a water logging on the environment or the site is 400. So because of that, we added additional 600 to the height of our cladding to be able to protect these steel members, both the bolt and the base plate, from rusting. Okay, now we are going to perform the steel connections for the base plate and also for other connections using Prota Steel 2022, because we are using Prota Steel 2022. So we are going to use Protastructure 2022 for the steel connections. Okay, we have not yet done this steel warehouse design, but we have just completed the steel modeling, although we still have some modeling to complete, because there is still additional smaller warehouse store around this place, which we are going to work on too, as you can see it directly on the building plan. Okay, so you can now see what we have done so far. Now if this video finds you very helpful for you, I would say that you should click on the subscribe button and like this video, and click on the video notification bell, so that you don't miss any part of this video while we are going to be uploading soon. Okay, so thank you so much, and God bless you. We love you. If you have any questions so far, I'll say you should just drop it down on the comment section, and we have also attached our number for WhatsApp, so that if maybe you want to ask question about our training, our special training, which is called mentorship class, you can just quickly come and then ask questions on that. We also have master classes on all our videos, so if maybe you want that, take that out and say so. Thank you, and then goodbye. We see you again next time. Bye.